So before I jump into what's happening in this video, I just want to quickly touch on where we left off last time. In the previous episode, I finished framing up the wall bay around the window and tried something a bit different by using pocket hole screws instead of the more traditional method. That wall bay is now in place. Everything's square and it's starting to feel like a proper room rather than just a shed. With the walls under control and coming together nicely, my attention's naturally starting to shift upwards towards the ceiling, and that's what this episode begins with. I just experimented a little bit, testing out some ceiling battens to see how they would hold in the purlins, the overhead purlins. So what I've done here is grab a few battens from Bunnings. They're 70 by 35 MGP 10 pine, and I'm attempting to fix them into the overhead steel purlins to support cladding later on. Basically, I just want to see how they feel, how they span, and how solid they are once they're fixed in place. I did a bit of a real-world strength test. I put my full weight on them and even hung off them just to make sure they weren't going anywhere, and they held up perfectly fine. That gave me a lot of confidence that this approach is going to work when I come back and properly fit out the ceiling in a future video. So the next section is where I'll start on the next wall bay. As you can see, the shed's a bit of a mess at the moment and it needs a bit of a tidy up, especially where I'll be building this new wall bay. This is a pretty straightforward wall, no windows, no doors, just a standard stud wall that's eventually going to become a tool wall. There won't be any cabinets or a full cabinet run on this side, so it's really all about getting a clean, solid wall up that I can build off later. I've also got some leftover insulation from a previous project, which is this foil back board that I'm moving here. And rather than let it sit around doing nothing, I'm planning to reuse it where I can. Depending on how much I've got left, I'll either use it up in the ceiling once the battens are properly installed, or I might insulate this wall and even the access door as well. At the moment this wall isn't insulated like the others, it's just got the building wrap on it, so adding insulation here later on should make a noticeable difference. For now though, it's just about clearing the space and getting set up so I can actually start framing the wall. One of the big goals with this wall was figuring out whether I could realistically fit this kind of work into a normal working week. I'm working full time, so the challenge I set myself was pretty simple. 1 hour after work each day, Monday through to Friday, with the aim of having this wall finished by the end of the week. And this is where it starts, cutting the studs and cutting the top and bottom plates for the wall. Nothing complicated here, just getting all the basic components sized and ready so I can make the most of that hour each afternoon. When you've only got a limited window to work in, preparation becomes everything. If I can get the cutting done efficiently, the rest of the week should flow a lot better. So this time lapse covers that first stage, getting the pieces cut, stacked and ready, and seeing how much I can actually get done in a single hour after work. After getting all the components cut on the Monday night, Tuesday was all about dealing with the wall length. I only had 2.7 metre lengths on hand, but I needed the top and bottom plates to be about 3.4 metres, so the plan was to extend them using half lap joints. To do that, I used a miter saw to make a series of cuts to form the half laps. It's a pretty quick way to remove most of the material, but it does leave a lot of small ridges and bits behind. Once the bulk was cut out, I went back in with a chisel and cleaned everything up, knocking out those little flakes left behind by the saw and flattening the joint so the two pieces would sit properly together. I went with a 90mm overlap on these half laps to get more glue surface and a stronger joint. It takes a bit longer to cut and clean up, but once it's fixed together, it feels solid, almost like one piece of timber. So I'm just going through here with a chisel, knocking off those little high spots and flattening everything out. It doesn't take much, just working across the grain and checking the fit as I go. After a bit of fine tuning, the joints started fitting together really nicely. The last job for the Tuesday was gluing and screwing those half laps together so I could get the plates assembled and ready for the rest of the week. So by the end of Tuesday, the studs were cut and the top and bottom plates were assembled, ready to start putting the wall together in the next session. Wednesday was the big one, assembly day. This is where everything starts coming together. The first job was trimming the top and bottom plates to the final length so they'd fit neatly between the steel upright purlins. Once that was done, I marked out all of the stud positions, aiming for 450mm centres so everything stays consistent and straight. And as I did with the previous wall, I proceeded to install the studs with pocket hole joinery. Just makes it a lot easier to install a wall right in its place. If you notice towards the back end of the wall, it wasn't possible to join the studs at 450mm centres. Because I joined the top and bottom plates with half lap joints, a couple of those joints landed right where a stud would normally go. Rather than run a stud straight over the lap and risk interfering with the screws I'd already put in, I just shifted those stud positions slightly. That just meant a few of the studs at the end of the wall ended up closer than 450mm centres, which isn't an issue at all. If anything, it just makes the section a little bit stiffer. The main thing is keeping everything straight, solid and practical for what the wall's actually going to be used for. And installing that top plate pretty much wrapped up for Wednesday. With that installed and the wall bay fully assembled, I left a couple of clamps on overnight just to keep everything steady. The wall was still sitting loose at this stage, so the clamps were just there to make sure nothing moved or toppled over before the next session. Moving on to the Thursday, this session was all about stiffening the wall up and getting it ready for what comes next. I went through and installed all the noggins, mainly to add rigidity to the frame and to give myself some solid fixing points later on. I used a combination of pocket holes and standard butt joints here, depending on the access and what made the most sense in each spot. Nothing too complicated, and it all went in pretty smoothly. This wall's eventually going to become a dedicated tool wall. I'm planning to build something custom here with a bit of Japanese aesthetic. Somewhere to hang and organise all my hand tools in a way that's practical but still looks nice. Nothing's locked in yet, but having a solid wall like this gives me a good base to work from when I get to that stage. The last thing I did was add one final stud at the end of the wall, right where the back wall will eventually butt into this wall bay. Having that double stud there just makes life easier down the track. It gives me something solid to fix cladding to in the corner, and allows the back wall to tie neatly into this one. Once that was done, the wall really started to feel solid. And that was tools down for Thursday. Before getting into Friday, I've got to say this week felt like a win. Working full time and still putting in an hour each afternoon and seeing a finished wall bay by the end of it, that's a good feeling. It feels like I've really found a routine that actually works. Anyway, Friday was all about fixing the wall down properly. I drilled 6mm holes into the slab at each stud position, cleared the dust out, laid the DPC under the bottom plate, and fixed it down with masonry screws. Once it was secured to the slab, I installed the galvanised angle brackets and checked everything for plumb to make sure the wall was sitting nice and straight. And that basically wrapped up the challenge. 1 hour after work each day, Monday to Friday, and the wall bay was finished by the end of the week. So thanks for watching, I really appreciate the support. In the next video, we'll start setting up the formwork for a 3x3 storage shed out behind the workshop, and continue on with the next wall bay. If you're enjoying the build, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.